First of all, you've seen our sign in front of the farm, Encouragement Farm. We started 4 years ago as a tree farm. And what I'm going to talk to you about is how our ministry works, because it works very much like a maple tree. So we've just shown you a couple of shots of a maple tree, so you see how the branches come off of a tree. Well, Christian Activists, the foundation for our whole program is built on the ground, and our ground happens to be the Word of God. And out of the ground, starting with a seed, becomes the trunk of a tree. And the trunk of this tree is you, because you're really important to us. And at the top of the trunk of a maple tree, we have big boughs that are kind of branching off of the tree. Now think about a family. Now if this is you, and these are your children, what happens to your children eventually? They end up having children, right? And they become more branches of the family tree. And what would you call these children? Grandchildren, right? So now we have the tree, the trunk, and we have the children, we have the grandchildren. And when the grandchildren have children, what do they become? Great-grandchildren. Very good. Great-grandchildren. And then the great-grandchildren, they go out and they have children, they become great-great-grandchildren. So when you start a family tree, pretty soon the family tree just grows and grows and grows on its own, doesn't it? Well, that's the same way this ministry is. But every time we add a child or a grandchild or a great-grandchild, that's one more person that has an audio Bible. And if they have an audio Bible, you think they'll listen to it? Probably will, won't they? So that means that more and more people are getting the Word of God. Well, our family tree is sort of symmetrical. That means that it has a very even system of developing. So our children are 7. And our children each have 7 children. What's 7 times 7? That's 49, right? And if you take 7 times 49, which would be our great-grandchildren, 343. And that's the way the tree grows. So our tree is 7 times 7 plus 1. So that's 8, right? So 8 is the leaves of the tree. Now you know what's interesting? The leaves are not connected to the branches. They're connected to the little twigs. Little twigs, and each little twig, and in fact we have a picture of that, so you can see it now, how the twigs of a maple tree work. The branches have twigs, and the twigs have 5 or 6 or 7 leaves. Well, on this particular family tree that we're building, when we get it all done, if we add up all the branches and all the limbs and all the leaves, do you know how many people that is? I mean, it seems crazy, but that's over 6 million people. Now, that's 6 million people that all have an audio Bible. So if they're all listening to their Bible, that's 6 million people that are getting the Word of God on a regular basis. Well, all the branches of our family tree are connected to us. They're all connected to us. So we need to support them, right? Because the trunk of the tree supports the tree. We need to support them and we need to help them. We need to nourish them, because nourishment comes out of the ground, doesn't it? And what's the ground of our family tree? It's the Word of God. So we support all the branches and all the limbs and all the twigs of our tree and all the leaves of our tree. And we grow a really healthy, big family tree. It's kind of simple, isn't it? And that's how our ministry works. So being a Christian activist means that we're bringing people into our family, we're developing relationships with them, and we're building a big family tree. But as this tree gets bigger, when there's 6 million people that have audio Bibles in their hand, we're not going to know who they are we? Have we had any effect on them? Yes, because we started the family tree. And we got connected to the Word of God, and we started listening to the Word of God. We started getting full of the Word of God, and then the Word of God came out of us, didn't it? So for those of you who are watching, this is how simple it is. We're developing relationships with a large number of people to get them into the Word of God so that they grow in faith. Because faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the Word of God. Thanks.